Jubilee, y'all. I actually signed up for this episode, y'all. And guess what? They didn't pick me. Like, what the hell? I actually signed up for a few more episodes and they still didn't pick me. But it is what it is. I'm happy for everyone. But let's see. With that being said, what up, YouTube? It's your Uncle Darius. I want to thank all my niece and nephew for watching. You guys could be anywhere else in the world, but you're hearing me, and I really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe to your uncle. Leave a like. Give you guys any recommendation. Leave in the comment section. Get to it as soon as possible. We're about to do. I'm not about to react to liberals and conservatives are more similar than you think by Jubilee. You know what? Like I said, I actually interviewed to be on this particular episode. I did. You know, and they thought that I was a good pick. So why they didn't pick me? I don't know. Maybe because I stuttered. Damn. But that's that. So, like, as you guys already know, I am a liberal. You know, I'm more of a progressive person. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely not a Trumper. I'm not a Biden supporter or anything. So, in political science, it was my degree. It was my degree. So, so that's the reason why I wanted to do this episode. But again, they didn't pick me. But we're still going to react to this episode. So let's see what it's about. Enough of blah blah blah. Let's get straight to the episode.
There's a lot of infighting on the right that I think makes us look very bad. One thing about liberals, you guys really do stick together. You actually get work done, even when I don't agree with it.
Okay, let's skip it. We don't have to do the intro. Oh, that's Rebecca. Why is she wearing a belly shirt?
The far left and the far right are equally problematic. 3, 2, 1.
I say
I've actually seen both sides. I'm a gay conservative, and I have.
How you be gay and be a conservative? I don't know.
The far right chastise me for my sexuality, and I've seen the far left chastise me for being conservative. I've had my own address put on the freeway here in Los Angeles.
Okay, that's not right. That's not right. See, one thing you would disagree with somebody due to their political issue, but it's a whole nother thing if you if you put out somebody's address and things like that. That's just wrong. Because at the end of the day, it's just politics. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A person in politics should not have to be a threat to someone. You shouldn't have to put somebody personal information online, you know, to prove a point. You get what I'm saying?
They feel that my voice should not be out there. So I see the two sides actively doing harm to those of us in the middle who have a really rational voice and want to express ourselves in a safe way.
Actually, did say I agree with you.
Like anecdotal experience that you have.
Oh, that's a transgender, or is that a drag queen?
But like I think
there's a difference.
My issue saying that like liberals are more problematic. Like I think everyone is.
What I talk about in my anecdotal incident is where I have never had a conservative physically attack me on the streets for what I am or who I am. They may verbally attack me. I've got that from the left too, but the left has physical attacks on my physical being out on the streets because I'm expressing myself.
And guess what? No one should be beating up anyone just for who your political beliefs are. So you know what? I am going to say agree.
I mean,
Multiple.
The opposite for myself. So like, you know, like experiences, as I said, anecdotal. Like, you know, like your experience, completely valid.
As it is.
To say, liberals are like you know, worse.
Right.
Like,
Well, it's not that there's no one worse, which is why I didn't move to strongly agree. My anecdotal experience tells me that there is a group of people on both sides that will do active harm to someone who steps out of
And that's true. And that's true. You get that from all political spectrum. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be a libertarian. You could be a liberal. You could be in any spectrum. You know what I'm saying? As long as one is politically minded, you know what I'm saying, and they're passionate about who you are, they're going to attack. And I don't think that's fair. You get what I'm saying?
narrative.
I feel like when we talk about political extremes, I think one, there is a lack of desire for bipartisanship. The second thing is this kind of like playful attachment to facts. People on the far left and the far right, whether we're talking about Israel-Palestine or vaccines, people seem to have like very fun activities in terms of just completely making stuff up regarding these two things.
True. That is true. That's why that's why I don't just that's why I always say Don't just listen to a political expert. You know, especially on things like vaccine. You want to listen to an expert. Listen to medical doctors. Listen to people who are expert on that field. You get what I'm saying?
And then the third thing is the demonization of political opponents, where people on the far left and the far right engage in this idea that the people on the opposite side of the aisle, they're not just different or have different ideas, they actually hate the country, they want to destroy us.
That's true. That's true. I get that a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, that side of the world. That side is the word. That side is the worst. You know, you get what I'm saying? But it's like, it's like, I get it from both sides that, you know, like they say this side is evil. I'm like, can somebody just do a damn thing already? But I digress. I'm not going to pause so much.
Based on our small conversation we've already had here, I don't think anyone here is extreme. But going down the street, you might get labeled a crazy leftist or racist. Or
I had to take the shirt off.
It's interesting because when answering this prompt, I sort of hesitated. I've been on both sides of the spectrum. I used to be what I would characterize as a radical leftist. Now I'm sort of right of center. And I feel like
I don't think I could ever be a right-winger, though.
Quite a bit. So I was thinking, what does far right even mean? Because so many people who I deem to be reasonable are characterized as far right, and I'm sure people on the left feel that very same way. I've gone and spoken to different campuses, both as a leftist and as a right of center individual, and I've never received more hatred or people trying to cancel my events than coming to those campuses as a conservative speaker.
Well, do you think that's because some of that rhetoric causes a lot of harm on the right side? Like a lot of the things that are being said maybe in those talks can have lasting impacts on those students when you're on those campuses. So you know, and in the other way.
And that's true too. A lot of people in college campuses are liberals and are leftists. You know, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I'm just giving you guys a picture. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people there are because. You know what I'm saying? When I went to UCLA, you know, there are Republicans, there are conservatives, there are UCLA at UCLA, but you know, but they were cool people. They were cool people. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a problem with them, and they didn't have a problem with me at all.
The conservative
one girl on there was cute though.
Care as much about progress is being talked about. I think there's
perfect example. Dylan Mulvaney just spoke at the University of Penn. They are free to go and have a talk. Conservatives didn't come out and try to cancel that event. They didn't threaten staff. They didn't blockade the entrances. They let that event go on. Amala goes to speak, and there's rallies. They're pulling fire alarms. They're attacking the attendees. There is extremism.
I'm sure that there is, but I don't think Dylan Mulvaney is the right person to use for your example because of how much
she's a leftist.
She's a leftist, but she's also had her life threatened.
Oh, so she dead named that guy dead named Dylan.
Right. She's had to move around a lot because her address continuously is doxed, and she wasn't even speaking at any sort of event. She was given a free Bud Light.
That's Rebecca. That's my autistic girl right there.
Something that's really important to keep in mind, given the entirety of the show, actually, is when we talk about canceling or attacking people, the reality is if you have the power to do it, you will do it. And on college campuses, the prevailing thought right now is generally progressivism. So if they can cancel or if they can bully conservative speakers off campus, they'll do that. But then right now, because conservatives don't have power on college campuses or in some forms of media, they'll say, well, the left is pro-cancel culture. No offense to conservatives. You don't get credit for saying, well, we didn't try to cancel something on college campus. Yeah, that's because there's 10 of you. You couldn't do it even if you wanted to.
That's funny.
There's way more conservative students than I think people actually give credit to. Maybe they feel like they need to, harbor those beliefs internally rather than, espouse them out loud. And I will say, any conservative who wants to shut down an event or a speech, I would wholly disagree with.
Yeah, I agree. I disagree with them too. There should not be a limitation on free speech. I agree. But one thing that I don't agree with is, I don't agree with people saying whatever they want. You get what I'm saying? What I mean by that is that I don't agree with people wanting to use derogatory terms with, a homophobic slang or a term that is harmful for disability people or even racism term. You get what I'm saying? Sorry about that. Y'all just had some wings.
3, 2, 1.
So I say agree.
Okay, I hate this prompt. Because we all agree that like direct calls to violence are not acceptable. I imagine.
Yes.
We all agree like you can't scream fire in a theater. Otherwise, I think that like there should be Nazis on college campuses like doing their ideology. You should be allowed to say basically whatever rhetoric you want as long as it's not like violating the terms and services of the platform. I do agree that vaccine misinformation is harmful. I agree with that. Misinformation relating to conspiracy theories is harmful, but I don't think the proper way to go about addressing that is to lock it all down and to ban it. I like the steps that YouTube has taken where they might put a note under the video, or what Twitter, or the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, called X, is taking where they have like the community note system.
I was thinking the very same thing as you. Of course, there are certain things that you cannot do, even with free speech being present. And
I think, you know what? I don't think she's as conservative as. First of all, she's cute, by the way. I don't think she's as conservative as she says she is. Matter of fact, I think she said she's right of the center. You know what I'm saying? She's probably not like a progressive or anything. She probably. I think her best thing will be like Hillary Clinton type of liberal. You get what I'm saying?
I'm not sure how you define hate speech. So with some of the hate speech laws that are coming about.
Yeah, hate speech would be, you know, like using hate towards a specific group of people, like I said earlier, like people with disability, LGBTQ, or people who are like African American or Hispanic or Asians, things like that. Even hate speech towards white people, that's not cool at all.
I think those need to be reevaluated and maybe rolled back, because even people who we disagree with and we don't like or we view as evil should still be able to espouse their beliefs.
Right.
Oh, they have a right to say what they want.
What's going on with students on campus, I don't agree that Congress and other individuals should limit what students are talking about on campus, what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in Israel, with the crackdown on JVP, the crackdown on Students for Justice for Palestine. The people who are in power should understand that students are the most, I would say, abrasive when it comes to speaking out against injustices.
I'm a free speech absolutist. I think that there should be certain free speech, but it's a constitutional right, and that's where I stand with it. I don't want any apps being banned. I don't want people being banned from certain apps.
That's true.
And I think there's
unless of course the app, like I said, the app does more harm than it does good. But if it's just something as simple as TikTok or something, like, I don't think that app should be banned. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, TikTok is a social platform. You know what I'm saying? And you're free to comment on wherever you want, whether it's just, you know, politics or even music or even some stupid dance. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're free to do that.
Our First Amendment right now, yeah.
So you think no one should be banned from the
No,
platform?
absolutely
So
not.
like someone calls me like the F slur, you like leave them?
Yeah.
Why?
Because that's their right to say that. Now, you know.
I mean, no, because there should be some kind of rules, like I said. And that person went off and say the F word towards him or even toward that conservative person. That platform has a right to ban that person because that person will be violating the terms, and the terms would be you cannot use offensive terms. You get what I'm saying? I do agree that sometimes, you know, like a platform they can take it a little bit too far. Like for instance, you know, I say you can talk about something that is important, but they'll cancel it because, you know, you might say your things. You get what I'm saying, everyone?
There should be.
Look at the drag queen.
I don't think the platform should be able to remove them, but I think you should have the right to block them like we already can now. Because I've lost 3 Instagram profiles just for saying, "Oh, I don't think children should have sex changes under the age of 18."
That part I do agree with.
Like I've lost thousands of followers and stuff for just saying things that I think are just common.
Do you just say that that kids should not have a sex change under the age of 18, or do you say something else? Cause let's think about it. Let's think about it for example. You probably were saying something offensive.
You actually,
Yeah.
because I can understand why like hearing a word like that is harmful and it's not something that you want to deal with on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you rather know who's homophobic though? Wouldn't you rather know
That's
who's
a good point.
racist?
Yeah.
These platforms have the right as private businesses to say what they want on those businesses. It's not cancel culture for them to take down slurs. And honestly, they're not that great at taking down slurs anywhere.
That's true. That's true. You know what? I have seen videos of of young girls, like checking up, doing all kind of inappropriate things, and that not be taken down. But meanwhile, like you say, you get you can say things like, I don't think kids under age of 18 should have a sex change. Then, but
on a daily basis online just for being a Jewish person.
The fortunate thing is this internet and social media has become the town square. And in the town square, if you were to take a box and put it in the town square, there is no limit on what you can say. And who's to say? The city's going to come down and say, you use the word and we're going to take your soapbox and you can't.
Like I said, he talk about the city. The city and the government are not going to do all that. But the platform like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, they can do that. They can ban somebody if you use your platform to harm others.
Come back to my city.
And nobody's safe, not even Donald Trump.
What you're doing when you're saying the platform has every right to remove this language.
You have the
They
option
do.
to go to another platform. There's plenty of
Or not only that, you have a right to even create your own platform. Nobody is preventing you from doing that.
Option to go to another city then.
There's plenty of conservative platforms
Now you have no free speech.
You have free speech.
You still have free speech though. What do you mean there's no free speech? Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's still a whole bunch of conservatives on Twitter. No, none of them have been banned. Lauren Boebert has not been banned. What's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's not banned. All the other conservative people, like what's her name? And Wokeness, whatever the fuck his name is. He not banned. Really? And guess what? I honestly would not want them to be banned, to tell you the truth. But like you say, you still have free speech. You can go on the platform. You can. It's like going to somebody's house and living at somebody's house. You still have to abide by their rules. And if you're not abiding by their rules, then get the fuck out. But I digress.
Because you have so many options.
I think we have to be really careful when we talk about the concept of free speech. I like the concept of free speech, and I would defend that across multiple platforms. That's fundamentally different than the First Amendment. The First Amendment has nothing to do with like the concept of free speech. The First Amendment prohibits Congress or state or local governments from making laws specifically abridging your right to freedom of speech. Like hate speech laws don't exist in the United States because there's not hate speech. Hate can be an aggravator to an existing crime, but we don't outlaw certain types of speech. Twitter does not have a legal obligation. It's a violation of their First Amendment right to say they have to host whatever type of speech or tweet that somebody has.
I like this guy. This guy's intelligent.
And hate incident are two different things too. And I wanted to say, like, if somebody called you, the F word, and they said they wanted to kill you, then that's a hate crime, and that's not protected, right? But a hate incident, somebody can call you an F word and not say they want to kill you, and that's still protected.
It can be an aggravating circumstance to an existing crime, but you can call somebody whatever you want, and it's not.
I often criticize my own political party.
I criticize both parties, especially the damn Democrats. They fucking suck.
3,
so I agree.
2, 1.
Pretty sure everyone will agree. Except for the gay guy.
I see that you're on the disagree side.
He just want to be different. I'm not clowning him or anything like that. He just stand by what you believe in, bro. Stand by what you believe in. You're still a bro, right? Yeah, I think you're a bro.
Because I tend to be a more, I guess you could say, traditional conservative in that I don't like to speak ill of my own party. I just don't.
Oh, fuck that. Speak ill on your own party. You know what I'm saying? Don't just kiss your own party's ass. You know what I'm saying? If they're doing wrong, speak out against it. You are an American citizen. You get what I'm saying? If they're not doing what they're supposed to do, call them out on it. They go back to the free speech. You have the right to call them out on it. Let's say I vote for Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders became a president and he's not doing what he's supposed to do. Am I supposed to just sit back and say, "Oh, Bernie Sanders, he's just doing his job," and blah blah blah? No, you got to call them out on it, saying, "Hey, we voted for you to do certain things, and you're not doing it. What the hell are you doing?"
Where everyone can see it is only going to put a blemish on them. And I always want to put my best foot forward, and I always want to put my party's best foot forward. But I will point out the instances where I disagree with them privately so that they can make the necessary changes.
I've got to ask.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? But at the same, I get what you're saying though. Like praise them in person, but call them out in private. I mean, I kind of get that, but at the same time though, you got to let your people know you're fucking up.
You said you were a Trump supporter, right?
Yes.
This must be like the thing you hate the most about him, right? Isn't Trump like the most anti-Republican attack?
But here's the thing, I come from a community where we found our power in local government. I separated myself from this idea that I'm going to speak poorly about Trump because
you should speak poorly about Trump. Anyone who is American, this ain't about conservative or liberal type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Anyone should call out against any person who would doing harm to America. And Trump had done more harm than good in America.
To be honest, I think a lot of liberals, we tend to bash our party on the social media platforms.
Which we should.
Protest a lot, right? But I think when it comes to going to these city council meetings, going to Congress, writing our elected officials, we tend to fall back on that, and we rely on social media, and we rely on demonstrations.
I think because you know what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I think because one of the reasons is that they feel like social media and demonstration, you know, that's the one that will get their attention. But I do agree with him when he say, you know, we should go to our our office meeting or election official, things like that. That's why I always tell people, vote. Vote. Don't just scream about it. Don't just shout about it. Vote. Vote.
A lot of infighting on the right that I think makes us look very bad. One thing about liberals, you guys really do stick together. You actually get work done, even when I don't agree with it. Whereas the right, with people like us, I feel like they see gay Republicans and conservatives as useful idiots, to be honest. That's why I kind of take issue with saying that I'm a gay conservative or gay Republican. They don't try to cast a wide net to bring new people over, whereas liberals do.
From my perspective as a liberal, I sometimes see y'all sticking really hard together.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
What we're gonna vote red. Like y'all seem very unified, even though you talk about like public, like there's like internal discourse. But
we gonna vote for Trump no matter what. We're gonna vote for Trump.
There's a lot of internal discourse amongst us. We're always yelling at each other.
Well, that's interesting because Democrats, they're winning a lot more elections right now. You know, that's another critique I have of the Republican Party. You know, the midterm elections, they completely blew it. They put out a lot of bad candidates.
Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and so many others. I can't think of them right now. I know my buddy. I'm sorry. I know my buddy David. Shout out to you, David. He gonna watch this. And I know that he gonna comment on this. He'll comment on this.
They're stuck on certain things like abortion. It's like they're unbudging with that, and it's like, all right, we're pro-life. Let's be pro-life in and outside the womb. You know, because they don't focus on abortion. But what about war?
That's what I've been saying. You can't be like only pro-life when it comes to a child inside a room. You gotta be pro-life all throughout the board. You get what I'm saying? Adopt kids from the streets. You know what I'm saying? Don't be pro-death penalty. And to my surprise, a lot of pro-lifer are pro-death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Help treat people, all the veterans that you love so much. Treat them with respect. You know, so they get them proper care. You know, that's what pro-life is to me. But I digress.
Now I want to send everybody up to
we're not even halfway there yet. I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to be a long video.
Violence should never be the answer to any issue.
I agree.
3, 2, 1.
And let me tell you why I agree. You know what I'm saying? It's very easy, you know, like to get into a fight with other people who have a different point of view as you. It's very, very easy to do that. But it's so much harder to just sit down and try to come with a compromise. Because believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, we share beliefs, believe it or not. This dude is always agreeing. Okay. Oh. Rebecca say she disagrees.
Hey, I'm Destiny.
Do you want to be in a Jubilee video?
I do! I do want to be in a Jubilee video. And you guys keep rejecting me. Why you guys keep rejecting me? I signed up for a lot, and you guys keep rejecting me. Let me skip this, y'all.
I think violence is bad for two huge reasons. One is because we don't want to condition people to feel like violence is the answer to political disagreements. And then two, we want people to utilize, we want everybody to be able to utilize some form of protest against the government. And when we endorse violence, we're now saying it's okay for even people we disagree with to use violence, and that can be really scary for a lot of different reasons. But I would say in general, 99%, where we're at today in the United States, we are not at the level where violence is necessary to enact any kind of political change.
I wouldn't say that's entirely true. I mean, there's a certain level of violence happening to marginalized communities. That doesn't mean I necessarily agree with violence when it comes to the Palestinian rebellion that's been happening in Israel. I don't agree with Hamas killing people, that's terrorism, but at the same time, the violent uprisings that have happened, most of which have actually been peaceful, but still there is some sort of violence happening because they've been oppressed for so long.
That's also true. That's also true. Think of a 1992 riots here in LA. You know what I'm saying? Black people, especially African Americans, we have been oppressed for so long, and nobody was hearing us. That's why the riot happened when they ended up saying not guilty to the Rodney King beating. But y'all don't hear me though.
Jews went peacefully into the concentration camps. No, we were violent. We had uprisings. We fought back. At a certain point, there is violence in fighting back to oppression.
I agree because I don't strongly agree with it.
I think that black liberal dude is more conservative.
In my life, what I practice, my spirituality, I'm all about nonviolence. But at the same time, as I organize and I'm on the ground and I'm at protests and I'm at demonstrations, by any means necessary means,
Malcolm X,
that you have to have some form of disagreement with the state that's not listening to your needs as people, as free people. And sometimes that takes, rebellious actions like burning down banks or burning down institutions that are not listening to you. But as black people in America, if we're only demanding liberty and justice, we're not asking for revenge.
That's true.
We're asking for equality.
Yes.
And sometimes I think the state looks at us being resistant as violence.
Sure. The reason I came over here, I was thinking more internationally. If a country is met with violence, there's really only one way to respond to that. I don't think Israel could go to Hamas and say, hey guys, can you just not do that again? When Hamas is already saying that they plan more attacks that they had on October 7th. So I think Israel has the right to defend themselves with violence.
I think there's a couple key things to keep in mind. So one is, when we talk about violence in response to political ideas, we have to be really careful that we don't redefine violence to mean literally anything that we don't like. Because I know that people are doing these things where there is.
I can see Destiny. I can see him. That's a him, right? Of being a professor at one of the colleges, because he is smart. He's articulate. He knows what he's talking about, and you can tell that he does his research. So I think he'll be a great professor in one of the universities.
White supremacist violence against black communities because of the way money is distributed with our taxes. And people will take that very academic form of violence, and it's okay, I think, to have this analysis, but they'll take that academic form of violence and they'll say, now we can kill police officers and burn down buildings, or now we can engage in arson and destroy neighborhoods.
Okay.
My side is misrepresented by the media. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Especially by Fox News and all that kind of bullshit. That's fun! That's so funny!
Honestly, the media is controlled by the left.
Sure!
I really never see any positive light shine on conservatives nor the right in the media ever, unless it's right-leaning media.
Like Fox News?
I think it's really interesting to even just look at the conservatives who are here today. It's a pretty diverse bunch of people. And
that's true.
when I was on the left, my characterization of conservatives was like white, heterosexual, old man, and to having moved over that space and see, there's way more people who just happen to have conservative beliefs, or maybe they don't agree with some of the woke stuff that's happening right now.
Does she even know what woke means? Like, I wonder what you know. Do you guys know what woke means? Leave in the comment section. Damn, I was gonna say something too, but I forgot.
We are often mischaracterized.
I do agree that right now, ironically, it seems like the left and the farther left have more kind of corporate media control in terms of how images are displayed. So you're going to feel like if you're conservative that you're not accurately represented, and the left maybe gets some more fair representation. But on platforms where conservatives run things, holy Christ, are people on the left completely and totally misrepresented.
Yep.
These stupid quotes from the WEF where it's like, oh, you want us to rent everything and own nothing, and you want us to eat bugs, and you're on your 57th booster shot today. If anybody's ever listened to Rush Limbaugh, Michael Savage, Billy Cunningham, like these people, these guys are not giving fair, accurate representation of the left. Their voices tend to be more marginalized, smaller now in media because of how much corporate control kind of like bows to the woke agenda, I would say.
I'd like to push back on that.
Again, the people know what the fuck woke means. Seriously.
A little bit I agree with a lot of what you're saying, but when it comes to right-wing media, maybe platforms like the Daily Wire or PragerU, they're very open about the fact that they're conservative. A lot of the mainstream left news, they'll present their opinion as fact. But, you know, like someone like Ben Shapiro, he'll tell everyone, you know, listen to my show, listen to Pod Save America, figure out what you think is right, listen to it, and you could figure out the facts based on what we're both saying. You don't see that as much from the left.
I want to push back on that because Ben Shapiro has stated a lot of opinions as facts.
That's true.
I think that there are better examples to use within the Conservative Party that are more open about being opinionated, but Ben Shapiro is not.
Yeah, or Michael Knowles saying transgenderism should just be eradicated from society. It's like, so now y'all are really giving them a bullet to use against us.
It's the culture war bull.
I agree.
That's what I'm so sick of between both sides, because I do think that both sides are misrepresented within media.
They went way too hard with the Bud Light thing. I'm like, let's let it go.
Especially on this topic now, I think in 2020 we all can agree every news station, besides most conservative news stations and podcasts, were posting black squares and saying that they were black people. But now, you know, what's going on with Israel and Hamas, you see some media companies taking the silent side or firing correspondents on CNN like Mark Lamont Hill.
I like Mark Lamont Hill.
MSNBC if they have
That's
a
true.
neutral stance.
That's true.
I agree with you. I think it's a cultural war on both ends, right? You have some liberal apparatuses who don't agree with some things that some liberals say.
Same with the right, how they did Tucker Carlson.
Both.
That's true. That's true. They did Tucker Carlson.
Even though
he's one that wasn't that Tucker Carlson and what's that dude name from CNN? Not Mark Lamont Hill. The gay guy too. Damn, why I can't think of his name.
Say they're blatantly stating facts, they're failing to contextualize those facts because a story presented with blank facts looks very different when you actually hear like the build up and like really see what's going on underneath.
Mainstream media tends to misrepresent conservatives. We all can agree on that. But what they do very well is they misrepresent liberals in a positive light. We can all remember the news anchor going, "It's a mostly peaceful rally," and there's a building burning behind him. They've misrepresented the other side, saying, "Look, this side, all sunshine and rainbows, everything's fine. Pay no attention to those people being hurt in the back." And instead of actually elevating people who were advocating for peace and saying, "Please don't destroy these buildings," they focused on the destruction and everything else, but not the actual destruction. So
I think what we need, and this is just my opinion, I think there need to be like meet somewhere in the middle. You get what I'm saying? We somewhere in the middle. You get what I'm saying? Talk about the destruction that happened. Yeah, and call out the few bad apples. But at the same time though, if a protest had been mostly peaceful, then you should mention that as well. You know, they say, hey, it was a mostly peaceful protest, but then something went haywire, then now the building is on fire. You get what I'm saying? Be fair.
Both sides being completely misrepresented, but misrepresented in different ways. The right being ignored and cast out as crazy, and the left being the shining example of tolerance. Look at us. When underneath the surface, we see the truth.
The American dream is still alive.
Nope. Disagree.
3, 2, 1.
Disagree. She say strongly disagree.
I feel like when upward class mobility is so hard as it is right now, the American dream is...
Okay, man, pick a side already, dude. Pick a side.
It's either dead or it's on life support because it's just damn near impossible for people to climb out of poverty. Everyone thinks that they're going to be the next Jeff Bezos. You're closer to being on Skid Row than you're ever going to be to Jeff Bezos.
That's sadly that's true. That definitely going on with my situation right now. I won't get into it anything, but yeah, you know, like majority of us are closer to being homeless than we will ever be being being on top. Does that make sense?
I think the American dream has become the American memory. Like I was thinking about this just outside of politics. Like, you know how a lot of people have nostalgia for like the past and stuff.
1950s. You know, a lot of people had that nostalgia for the 1950s, despite the fact that racism was still going strong. Despite the fact that women didn't have didn't have much power, or I don't want to say power, but didn't have much rights. You get what I'm saying?
And it's like we're not going to get back.
Don't do like the 50s music though.
Post 9/11, when everybody was a little more unified outside of the Patriot Act and everything. We're not going to get the America where all races could get along without people saying, "Oh, you're culturally appropriating, you're microaggressions," all that little stuff that keeps us divided. I don't think we'll get back to the America that we grew up in. I honestly don't. Like, I want to be optimistic, but it's hard.
I guess I just don't know that that's the necessary point of the American dream. I think it shifts and it changes and it takes on the context of the time that it's in, where we have that sort of old school nuclear family, house with a white picket fence. That's changing with tech.
Way less of that. You get what I'm saying? I don't think what you talk about is the middle class. And I don't think there is a such thing as I mean if there is a such thing as middle class, I don't think it's as big as it used to be. Because I'm making what should be considered middle class, but at the same time it's like I'm fucking broke. I'm broke. Broke five bro. Really, I got it. Kanye West.
And corporations buying up properties and things like that. But I don't think the American dream is dead. I think it's taking on a new form. I think still there is no better place to be, no better place for progress. And as you watch people in other countries, what are they influenced by? They're influenced by America. Where do they want to be? They want to be in America. So it speaks to me that the dream is very much still alive. Opportunity is very much still alive. Just look at the dream.
The idea.
The dream.
The idea, not the dream. The idea. You get what I'm saying? Because that probably some other country they look at us as inspiration and things like that. So she having a valid point about that. But at the same time, though, like our healthcare system could be much better. Our education could be much better. There are a lot of things that could be infrastructure that could be much better, but it's not. We are so far behind more progressive countries like UK or Spain or even Canada. That is freaking ridiculous. We look more like a third world country than the actual third world country. Does that make sense, everyone?
With what you're saying here, that dream of being able to buy a house, having the nuclear family, being happy, that's still my view of the American dream. It is harder to attain, that's for sure. It might be dead here in California.
It's not, I can assure you.
I want to believe that the American dream can be like real. The more I've experienced life, the more I feel it is a little more on the dead side. Like
I agree.
It's like this idea that we're taught when we're growing up is that you work the hardest, you're going to get the most, right?
Yeah.
That's just not true. Like,
exactly.
That's not the world we live in. And I know it's a little pessimistic. As I said, like, I want to be like the poverty cycle breaker in my family, but it's like...
my folks don't live in poverty, but at the same time, though, it's like...
out of reach, but I started my adult life with $35 in my pocket.
Good for you!
Because my parents locked me up. I saw them achieve the American dream of having a home and having beautiful children. I wanted that, and I worked hard. And now in my work in real estate, I see
you got real estate, that's why.
American dream all day long. Sometimes California is a little outside of our price range. We've got to go to another state. But that potential, that idea that I am free to choose to get a home, choose to get land, choose to start a business, that is still here. And I wholeheartedly believe that the American dream still rests in our hands. We just have to be strong enough to take it.
I think for individuals,
it's easy to say that. You know what I'm saying? What you say right there is a great thing, but at the same time, though, when you think about it, it's like, you know, we have to live with reality, though. You get what I'm saying? Like, and not everyone is going to afford land. Not everyone is going to afford. Not everyone can afford to move out of state. You get what I'm saying?
The American dream may still be alive and embedded within their spirit, but I think for BIPOC folk that are within America,
we don't see it.
The American dream is sort of a memory, and
like he said,
it's becoming less vibrant due to the housing crisis, due to you said earlier, gentrification, due to the lack of education.
Didn't I say that?
The American dream was first, promoted within the 1960s, Reagan, Nixon. They funneled so much money within the American economy for people to go to college and not worry about it, for people to afford a home and not worry about it.
And we can't afford a home anymore. We can barely afford a car.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, since there's so many instances of people on the top, making sure they hold that wealth.
Yeah.
We see so many BIPOC folk in America suffering and not being able to get to that middle class, right?
Yes.
The American middle class is no longer here.
So you're speaking just from the BIPOC perspective, not American.
I'm speaking just from the BIPOC perspective.
Hey, at least you being honest.
It's supposed to apply to everyone, and I think that's the issue.
Yes.
Like, when I heard you, I'm like, I think that's amazing that like some people do have the access to move and stuff like that,
but that's not everybody.
The bottom who are working so hard and they can't.
Exactly.
A lot of the views you have of the American dream get so politically tainted that one of the things that sucks is for the cool things that are happening in America, you can't even take credit for it anymore. I hate that I chose the most politically divisive topics, but for instance, I personally think the COVID vaccine, that was a huge success of United States innovation and capitalism.
That's true.
Those are really cool. I think that's super awesome.
Look, he's smiling. You can tell he loved his guns.
For all the things that exist that are good, we can't take credit for them anymore because all of them become so heavily politically divided.
That's true.
Has a huge doomer outlook on everything.
I think it's really hard for some people to have that optimistic outlook when there is so much in the way. Like I, as a disabled person, we're still forgotten about with marriage equality. We're still forgotten about when it comes to health mandates.
Yes.
For a lot of people who live this every day, for us the American dream is dead, and it's been dead for a while.
I just think
I agree.
The fact that we're all here and clothed and fed and have water, and we're here discussing ideas and how to make this.
I mean, yeah, but you don't know that if some of these people are living with their grandma or they living with their people. You don't know that.
Better place. To me, that completely signifies the American dream. We are currently living it.
That's as you said, a really optimistic view, oh, look how far we've come, but what if that's not enough for those people right now?
Exactly.
Living
exactly.
Right now who don't have what they need.
That's the beauty of America. We are free to succeed or we are free to fail. It's free to do whatever you want.
I'd rather be here.
I'll say this. Wait, let me see what they have to say.
Say that I'd rather be in America.
Okay. I'll say this. No matter what, I want to succeed in life. No matter what, I am going to do it. You heard it here, folks. I'm going to succeed. With that being said, this was a great topic and everything. I wish I was on this freaking episode, but they didn't pick me. But I think all these people, both of them, both sides did a great job of articulating their point and everything. And of course, there are things that I disagree with and everything. But I won't bash anyone here. That's not what our platform is. We're not going to bash people here. But I think, like I said, I think overall this was a good episode. But thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think of this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe to your uncle. You can check my preview down here. Peace, love, and rock and roll.